Four different games saw multiple home runs fly on a wild Friday night in baseball, but Alex Bregman's two-homer show in Seattle stole the spotlight in a 6-5 thriller. The Milwaukee Brewers edged the Atlanta Braves 2-1 in a tightly pitched affair at home. Right-hander Jacob Rosicki was outstanding, working 6 shutout innings while striking out 6 to pick up the win, and closer Trevor Megill slammed the door with a clean ninth for the save. Milwaukee's offense was thin but efficient, powered almost entirely by catcher William Contreras, who went a scorching 4 for 4 with an RBI, one of the best individual lines of the night and a stat line that jumps off the page for any fantasy manager scanning the box score. Jackson Chourio, Andrew Vaughn, Bryce Terang, and Luis Lara each chipped in a hit as well, but no Brewer left the yard. Atlanta's lone run came without a home run, with Lane Thomas providing the Braves' only stolen base of the night. Michael Harris, Roman II, Mauricio Dubon, Matt Olson, Dominic Smith, and Mike Yastrzemski all reached base for Atlanta, but it wasn't enough to overcome Rosicki and the Milwaukee bullpen. The Philadelphia Phillies survived a slugfest, outlasting the St. Louis Cardinals 7-6 to extend their winning streak to 7 straight games. Alec Boehm led the way at the plate for Philadelphia, going 3 for 5 with 3 RBI, while Luis Ariz added a 3 for 5 night of his own. Starter Jesus Luzardo was electric on the mound, striking out 9 over 5.2 innings, and Alex McFarlane picked up the win in relief. Louis pushed back with power, getting solo home runs from both Jordan Walker and Joshua Baez. Walker finished 3 for 5 with 2 RBI, extending his own hitting streak to 7 straight games in the process. Nathan Church added a stolen base for the Cardinals, and contributions up and down the lineup from Brian Torres to Ivan Herrera kept St. Louis in it until the end, but Philadelphia's offense and Luzardo's strikeouts were enough to hold on for the win and the 7th straight victory. New York Yankees held off the Toronto Blue Jays 3-1 behind a strong start from Cam Schlittler, who worked 6 innings, allowed just 1 earned run, and struck out 4 to earn the win. Spencer Jones provided the power, launching a home run for the Yankees, while Trent Grisham added a stolen base. Closer David Bednar worked a scoreless 9th for the save to lock it down. Toronto's offense was led by Brett Bateman, who went 3 for 5, and Kazuma Okamoto, who kept his hitting streak alive at 7 straight games with a hit despite the loss. Alejandro Kirk, Ernie Clement, Brandon Valenzuela, and Jesus Sanchez also picked up hits for the Blue Jays, but Toronto couldn't generate enough offense to back it up, falling to the Yankees' combination of Schlittler's strong start and Bednar's clean finish. The Boston Red Sox outslugged the San Francisco Giants 6-4 at home, getting a home run from Wilson Contreras and a 3 for 4, 1 RBI night from Will Ira. Sonny Gray battled through 6 innings for the win despite allowing 4 earned runs, striking out 6 along the way, and Aroldis Chapman closed it out with a scoreless 9th for the save. San Francisco didn't go quietly, getting home runs from both Drew Gilbert and Rafael Devers, with Christian Koss, Turner Hill, and Bryce Eldridge also reaching base. But Boston's balanced attack with Adley Rutschman, Khalid Durbin, Nick Sogard, Jarren Duran, and Seth and Rafaela all picking up hits was enough to hold off the Giants' power and secure the win. Andrew Monasterio and Mickey Gasper were held hitless for Boston, but the rest of the lineup did more than enough to back Gray and Chapman down the stretch. The Miami Marlins narrowly beat the Washington Nationals 3-2 in a tight, low-scoring battle. Pete Fairbanks worked a scoreless inning of relief to pick up the win for Miami despite allowing an earned run, and the Marlins got a stolen base from Otto Lopez. Esteury Ruiz, Jacob Marcy, Javier Sonoja, and Owen Casey all had hits to help build just enough offense to hold off Washington. The Nationals got the game's only home run from catcher Keibert Ruiz, and Dalen Lyle turned in the best individual line of the night for either side, going 3 for 5 with an RBI. Washington also ran wild on the bases, with Nazem Nunez swiping 2 bags of fantasy-relevant stat line for anyone's streaming speed, and Jacob Young adding another steal. Brady House, Andres Chaparro, and Dylan Cruz also reached base for Washington, but the Nationals came up just short in a game that came down to the final innings. The Baltimore Orioles beat the Tampa Bay Rays 5-3, powered by home runs from Dylan Beavers and Pete Alonso. Trevor Rogers turned in the outing of the night for either side, working 7 innings, allowing 3 earned runs and striking out 6 to earn the win, and Rico Garcia closed it out with a save. Gunnar Henderson, Lady Tavares, Jackson Holliday, and Colton Cowser all contributed hits to Baltimore's offense. Tampa Bay got a solo home run from Kenny Piper and a stolen base from Jorge Mateo, but the story in the Rays lineup was about streaks. Chandler Simpson extended his hitting streak to 12 straight games, while teammates Yandy Diaz and Taylor Walls both saw lengthy hitting streaks end on the same night. Diaz's run stopped at 11 games and Walls at 10. Despite Simpson keeping his streak alive, Tampa Bay couldn't overcome Baltimore's power and Rogers' strong start on the mound. Chicago White Sox blasted their way past the New York Mets 6-4 in a power-packed win at home. Chicago got home runs from four different hitters: Randall Grichuk, Colson Montgomery, Jake Rogers, and Miguel Vargas to back a win for reliever Grant Taylor, who struck out two in a scoreless inning. The Mets tried to keep pace with a home run from Bo Bichette and got hits from Brett Beatty, Carson Bench, Marcus Semien, Jared Young, and Luis Robert Jr., but New York couldn't match Chicago's power surge. With 4 homers in a single game, the White Sox lineup delivered one of the more explosive offensive nights of the day across all of baseball, overwhelming the Mets pitching staff and securing the win. The Kansas City Royals rolled past the Detroit Tigers 5-2, getting home runs from Carter Jensen, Vinny Pasquantino, and Kyle Isbell. Noah Cameron was sharp on the mound, working 5 shutout innings with 2 strikeouts to earn the win, and Nate Pearson locked things down with a save. Isaac Collins, Salvador Perez, Michael Massey, and Bobby Witt Jr. all picked up hits to round out a balanced Royals offense. Detroit got hits from Zach McKinstry, Hao-Yu Lee, Javier Baez, Kevin McGonigal, and Colt Keith, but couldn't string together enough offense to keep pace with Kansas City's 3-homer night. The Royals' combination of power at the plate and a clean effort from the pitching staff was enough to put this one away comfortably. The Houston Astros blanked the Athletics 4-0 behind a strong start from Hayden Wesneski, who worked 5 shutout innings and struck out 4 to earn the win. Isaac Paredes, Dalton Varsho, Jose Altuve, Christian Walker, and Yordan Alvarez all had hits as Houston's lineup did enough to back a dominant pitching performance. The Athletics managed a stolen base from Donovan Walton, along with hits from Jeff McNeil and Carlos Cortes, but were shut out on the scoreboard, unable to solve Wesneski and the Houston bullpen. It was a clean, efficient win for Houston, powered by pitching rather than fireworks at the plate. The Texas Rangers edged the Los Angeles Angels 2-1 in a pitcher's duel. Ezequiel Duran had the best individual performance of the night, going 4 for 5, and Tyler Alexander picked up the win with a scoreless inning of relief, striking out 2. Evan Carter, Wyatt Langford, Corey Seager, Cody Freeman, and Elias Diaz all contributed hits to help Texas scratch across enough runs for the win. The Angels' lone run came with Jose Siri swiping a base and collecting a hit, while Zach Neto and Denzer Guzman also reached base. But Los Angeles couldn't generate enough offense to overcome Texas pitching in a tightly contested, low-scoring game that came down to the final outs. The Cleveland Guardians routed the Colorado Rockies 9-1 on the road, powered by a huge night from Travis Bazzana, who went 4 for 5 with 3 RBI and added a stolen base. Cleveland also got home runs from Patrick Bailey and Petey Halpin, and Tim Herron worked 1.1 scoreless innings to pick up the win. Angel Genao, Chase DeLauder, Nathaniel Lowe, Joe Adell, and Stephen Quinn all chipped in hits as the Guardians' offense clicked on all cylinders. Colorado's offense managed hits from Willie Castro, Cole Carrig, Jordan Beck, Connor Norby, and Kyle Caros, but the Rockies had no answer for Cleveland's power and depth, falling behind early and never threatening to come back in a lopsided road win for the Guardians. The Arizona Diamondbacks blew out the Cincinnati Reds 9-0 at home, led by Jordan Lawler's huge night, a 3 for 5, 3 RBI performance that included a home run. Geraldo Perdomo also went 3 for 5 with an RBI, and Eduardo Rodriguez was dominant on the mound, working 5.2 shutout innings with 4 strikeouts for the win. Arizona ran wild on the bases too, with Tim Tawa, Jose Fernandez, Gabriel Morno, and Corbin Carroll each swiping a bag for stolen bases in a single game to go along with the power at the plate. Nolan Arenado and Ryan Waldschmidt also had hits for the Diamondbacks. Cincinnati got hits from Sal Stewart, Dane Myers, Kebrian Hayes, and T.J. Friedel, but were shut out on the scoreboard, unable to keep pace with Arizona's complete performance on both sides of the ball. The San Diego Padres beat the Minnesota Twins 6-2 behind a strong start from Randy Vasquez, who worked 7 innings, allowed 2 earned runs, and struck out 3 to earn the win. Fernando Tatis Jr. led the offense with a 3 for 4, 1 RBI night, and Ty France added a home run. Luis Rengifo, Manny Machado, and Austin Hayes also picked up hits for San Diego. Minnesota got hits from Cody Clemens and Luke Kershaw, but the Twins' lineup was otherwise quiet, unable to generate enough offense to threaten San Diego's lead. Vasquez's length on the mound allowed the Padres to rest their bullpen in a comfortable win. The Los Angeles Dodgers held off the Pittsburgh Pirates 5-4, getting a dominant start from Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who struck out 9 over 6.1 innings. Max Muncy homered for Los Angeles, Shohei Ohtani added a hit and a stolen base, and Evan Phillips worked a scoreless inning to pick up the win in relief. Mookie Betts, Hunter Fiducia, and Tommy Edman also had hits for the Dodgers. Pittsburgh pushed back with a home run from Wendell Cruz and hits from Brandon Lowe, Brian Reynolds, Jake Mangum, and Nick Gonzalez, making things interesting late. But Los Angeles pitching anchored by Yamamoto's strikeout-heavy start and Phillips' clean relief work was enough to hold on for the one-run win. In the most electric game of the night, the Seattle Mariners outlasted the Chicago Cubs 6-5 in a back-and-forth slugfest that saw 4 home runs leave the yard. Cal Raleigh went deep for Seattle, and Seranthony Dominguez worked a scoreless inning to pick up the win. But the headline performance belonged to Chicago's Alex Bregman, who put on a show with 2 home runs and finished 3 for 5 with 3 RBI, one of the best individual stat lines of the entire day and an unmissable line for any fantasy manager scanning the box scores. Ian Happ and Pete Crow Armstrong also went deep for the Cubs, giving Chicago 3 homers on the night, while Nico Horner chipped in a stolen base. Seattle's lineup stayed balanced behind Raleigh, with Josh Naylor, Cole Young, Randy Arizona, Julio Rodriguez, Brendan Donovan, and Leo Rivas all picking up hits. Despite Chicago's power display and Bregman's huge night, it wasn't enough to overcome Seattle's complete team effort, as the Mariners escaped with a 1-run win in a game that had fireworks from start to finish. Tampa Bay's Chandler Simpson kept his hitting streak alive at 12 straight games, even as teammates Yandy Diaz and Taylor Walls both saw their own streaks end at 11 and 10 games, respectively, in the same loss to Baltimore. Meanwhile, Philadelphia rode a big win over St. Louis to a season-long 7-game winning streak, backed by Alec Boehm's big night at the plate. Alex Bregman was the fantasy story of the night, popping 2 home runs and driving in 3 for Chicago. Washington's Nasa Nunez offered a burst of speed with 2 stolen bases, a great streaming source for Steele's needy rosters. Multi-hit performances piled up too. William Contreras went 4 for 4 with an RBI for Milwaukee, Alec Boehm drove in 3 on a 3 for 5 night for Philadelphia, and Jordan Walker matched him at 3 for 5 with 2 RBI for St. Louis despite the loss. That's a wrap on today's action across the majors. Hit subscribe so you never miss a recap.